A clerk in one of today's health food stores will tell you that you need nitrogen balance to achieve muscle growth. Then he or she will take you over to try and sell you some cheap whey protein, and that's usually where the conversation ends. But actually, nitrogen balance is required for the creation of compounds that are needed by hormones, neurotransmitters, and antioxidant defenses. But most importantly for this video, nitrogen balance is needed for protein synthesis. Since nitrogen is found predominantly in protein, the loss of nitrogen is linked to protein breakdown. So nitrogen is lost when the 23 amino acids, essential amino acids, are synthesized. Now there are other ways that you lose nitrogen. It's through how much nitrogen you ingest, the lack of, kidney function, hydration, the anabolic, catabolic state of the lifter. These things can also cause the loss of nitrogen. The dietary requirements of protein and nitrogen are determined by the metabolic demand that the lifter puts on his or her bodies. Now, the essential amino acids cannot be synthesized by the human body. They have to be consumed from an outside source. So you have to consume those essential amino acids in the right amounts compared to the demands you're putting on your body. They have to be sufficient to meet those demands. Now, I never go to a supplement company to get information on supplementation. I never go to anybody that's trying to sell me something to get information on supplementation. I go to a university study. I want that pure science. In this case, I've gone to the University of Padova, Italy. They did a study on nitrogen balance, and they stated that the average person needs 0.75 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day to achieve zero nitrogen balance. At zero, you're in balance. Okay? Now, this would calculate out to, for a 200-pound individual, that would be, he or she would weigh 90.7 kilograms. That would come out to 68.025 grams of protein per day. Now, let's take a look at what they said about the needs, the requirements, the protein requirements for lifters. Resistance training increases skeletal muscle protein breakdown and synthesis in the post-exercise recovery period. So the university states that the lifters have a greater need, and they recommend that they eat a surplus of protein. They're not worried about toxicity, and we'll talk about that later. We'll learn why. Now, they recommend 1.6 to 1.7 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day for a lifter. So if you're a 200-pound lifter, you're going to come out around 1.45.12 to 158.19 grams of protein a day. Now, they in their study, they found that, of course, as you and I already know, that the lifters are eating more than that. Now, the study shows that dietary proteins and nitrogen are preferentially directed towards anabolic processes. Okay, so it's also linked to the quality of the protein that you ingest and the amount and quality of muscle that you are carrying. So it becomes apparent to me that to supplement with the essential free-form amino acids, it makes sense. That way you're ensured above and beyond the food intake, the whole foods, that you have what's needed, because they are essential, I hate to use that word again, essential to this process. Now, the metabolisms of various organs in the body also affect protein requirements, nitrogen balance, Therefore, as the study admits, it becomes nearly impossible to determine a person's exact protein requirements. Now, research is showing that increasing protein increases nitrogen balance due to enhanced inhibition of protein breakdown. We call that anti-catabolism, and increased protein synthesis. So, ingesting a high amount of proteins throughout the day ensures positive nitrogen balance. Now, people worry about ingesting too much protein. Is that toxic? No, because the body cannot store proteins. It will excrete any protein that is not necessary. Any excess protein will be excreted. Now, the research also shows that the quality and amount of essential amino acids makes a huge difference in nitrogen balance. So you need to have a supplement, a crystalline free-form amino acid supplement containing all 23 essential amino acids as a backup to ensure that above and beyond your food you're getting a balanced amount of the right free-form amino acids to achieve the nitrogen balance. The proper use of carbohydrates also aids in achieving nitrogen balance. Now, this is due to the fact that carbohydrates release insulin, and insulin spares internal proteins. When you consider the higher protein requirements of a lifter along with the damage that fasting does to nitrogen balance and protein synthesis, the multi-carbohydrate leverage loading diet becomes an attractive method of maintaining these two processes throughout the day. And in addition to that, I would strongly recommend supplementing with the crystalline free-form amino acids. Be careful which one you buy. You want to have the 23 essential amino acids in that supplement to make sure that you have a balanced intake of essential amino acids to achieve nitrogen balance and protein synthesis.